Okay, so it wasn't quite as far as I expected it to be. So, I figured I would be at fully assembled by the time I shot another video, but there was enough to talk about that it was worth going a little before that. So, okay, so hey, look, I have conveyor belts. I've got 2 of them. Not fully assembled yet, as is my pattern. One sec, let me move a light, make this a little brighter. There we go. Not fully assembled. Basically, the gears are here and the belt is here. They are not currently connected to each other because I would need to apply glue to make that happen, and I don't want to do that until the very last moment. But yeah, here is my conveyor belt. Da 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 da. They turn. Great. The way that works, I'm just gonna keep this other one out here. I'm gonna take it apart. Taking off these little things, turning this out. One moment. It's very hard to keep things on camera. So the top has like, trying to make it actually show up, has like a paddle wheel basically. And then the inside of the conveyor belt has these slats. And so the paddle wheel grabs onto the slats, and so as long as this is turning, it grabs the slats and it moves the conveyor belt. Okay. Again, not currently doing that entirely because this wheel is not connected to this, and the gear is also not connected to the rod. So the mechanism will work once it's all glued. I'm just waiting until the very, very last moment to do that. Okay, so then, what else? One second, let me just put these pieces aside so that I don't lose them, because there's a lot of small bits on my desk right now. Great. Okay, so that's that part. Eventually, once they are glued, turning these wheels here will turn the conveyor belt. In fact, this large wheel will protrude outside of the vehicle, and the place that this all fits, this one is, I disassembled the reverse one, but it'll sit, oh god, you can't even see this. Here's the truck. It'll sit basically here next to the thing, and then that's going to lift the remotes up. This one is backwards. The wheel will be, so on this side of the truck, the wheel will be to the left, not to the right. So, I think. I haven't actually designed it yet, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it's going to go. Okay. And then, but yeah, this will turn. But currently, wait, it's not turning. Why is that not turning? Well, the reason it's not turning is due to a great deal of effort on my part. So I needed to set it up so that when the remotes are hanging on this, the weight of them, they're not very heavy because like most of them are plastic, although the mule bots are going to be metal. When it's hanging on there, I don't want it to like gradually slide down from the weight. So I had to put a braking mechanism on so that it does not do that. And it's really funny to me because when I was designing these, when I got to the point of doing the conveyor belt, I asked myself the question, am I doing a real functioning conveyor belt or am I doing a fake, like just, it looks like a conveyor belt, but not actually working. And then I kind of thought through in my head about how am I going to make the conveyor belt? And so how I'm making it is I was putting some cardboard slats onto ribbon, and I'm like, oh, but the cardboard will fall off. So I'm like, okay, so I have to sew it. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. That's doable. And then I'm like, okay, well, then how am I going to turn it? I'm going to turn it with basically gears. There's going to be a big gear poking out. And so this was all basically part of the design from the start. And I'm like, okay, how long do I think that'll take? And I was like, a week, maybe, about a week. And then I'm like, okay, great. And then I was like, okay, so then that's fine. Oh, and then I'm going to need to stop it from moving. I'm like, okay, so there'll be like a brake, like a button or something that you'll do and it'll stop moving. Okay, well, I'll give myself like a day or two for that. And yeah, the conveyor belt did actually take, the conveyor belt and the gears did actually take about a week. The button took over a week. The button is probably the single most complex mechanism that I have on the entire truck. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, it does do the thing at long last. So here's the button working. So here, this does not turn, but then if I push the button in, then it turns. So what's happening with the button? In some ways, it's not that complicated. It's not a complicated mechanism, it's just difficult to build. So here's a disassembled copy of the button for the other side. And I'm going to do my best to explain what's going on. But essentially, so I'll explain it in pieces. So to start with, the thing that makes the wheel stop turning is this bar. The bar has teeth on it. And when the brake is engaged, the teeth are grabbing the wheel. And the wheel just can't turn because the teeth are in. Okay, so that part's pretty straightforward. But then what I needed to set it up was, so I wanted it to be in a state where passively the brake is engaged and you need to push a button to disengage the brake, which means that this thing needs to constantly be pulling itself into the wheel in order to continually be braking it like that, and it's only when you apply pressure that the brake goes away. And then that's really hard. My initial concept was I was going to use a spring. I went around to some stores. I just don't know where to buy springs. Like, this is all new and foreign to me. And man, a tiny spring cannot be a very exotic component. I just could not find one. So then I kind of looked around. I'm like, well, how else can I get a spring-like mechanism, but without actually using a spring? And I thought, and then I realized, like an elastic band. So I was like, okay, so what are we going to do for an elastic band? And tried a bunch of stuff, skipping over this search process, but I eventually ended up at hair elastics. So they're easily obtainable, they're stretchy, and then basically if I just loop it behind it, it'll pull it in. But that ended up being very complicated in its own right because because then you need to mount the hair elastic needs to be, you need like pegs on the front to pull it in this direction, and then trying to figure out how to get the pegs on the front, make it so that they're strong enough, and make it so that everything is small enough to fit within this tiny space that I have in the pocket here was really effing complicated. And like I said, so this was over a week of work, I think, to get the button working. Maybe not, I don't know about that. And most of it wasn't like, oh, it took that much continuous labor to build it. It was mostly just like iterating through designs that didn't work. So like I had an initial thought of a design that I thought would work, and it just literally did not do the thing. And then I had another design that I thought would do the thing, and it did not do the thing. Then I had an idea that did do the thing, but I couldn't fit it in the space that I had available, so I had to scrap it. And that was just kind of the loop I was doing for a week, was just like, oh, this works, but it doesn't fit, or this fits, but it doesn't work. And finally, this is the design that I ended up with, where the hair elastic goes to here. So it has to, I had to do it with metal because basically the elastic is strong enough that if I did this out of cardboard, it would eventually either rip or rip off the glue or crush the cardboard. So I had to do more aluminum, and then so that basically all of the components that are under strain are metal. So that had to be, so I was not happy. I thought I was done the metal, but I was not happy. I had to do more metal. Now I think I'm done, but I don't know. I'm probably wrong again. All of that is metal, and then the elastic loops onto the front, and then so now when you push it away, the strain is going through a metal bar into a metal thing onto a metal thing, and it's this little contained metal component. And then when you push it, it basically just takes the bar and it just pushes it back when you push the button, right? So, and then, in the end, it does work. When I went to finally assemble it at the end of the whole process, I was initially kind of panicked because I pushed the thing back. I pushed the button back, and it went back, and I was like, yay, it works. It pushes back and then releases back again, and it's all doing the thing I want it to. And then I turned it, and it still didn't turn, and I was like, what is going on? And it turns out that as I initially set it up, even at full extension of the button, some of the teeth were still engaged with the wheel, like not by very much, but just barely. So I was like, oh God. So like even at the best version of this mechanism I was able to come up with still kind of didn't work. I was so upset. I did realize pretty quickly that that was a very solvable problem, because essentially, like when I did a full extension, here, I'll mark it on this one. I looked really closely at what was happening when I pushed the button in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and essentially tooth number 4 was still touching. And like it was hard to see, possibly the ones around it, but definitely tooth 4. So essentially all I had to do on the first one that I did was I went in with some clippers and I just snipped off those 3 teeth. And then, so there's still basically, when it pulls in, it's now being braked by like exactly this one tooth. So tooth number 6, I guess. That one is still enough. So these ones pull free, so that when it's not, so when I push the button in, the wheel is able to just slide by the area of these 3 teeth. But when I let the button go, this one tooth jams into the wheel, and that's it. That's all I need to happen. The one tooth is enough. Yeah. So anyway, with all of that done, the mechanism works the way I wanted it to. Again, you push it in, then the gears turn, you let it go, and the gears pull back. And that's exactly what I need to happen. Which now means I am done the design stage. Every piece of it now works, and I just need to glue it. I need to assemble it. So that's gonna happen today. I'm gonna make it so that it's fully permanently assembled, will no longer be able to be disassembled, and but at the end of that, turning the wheel should actually turn the belt. It's going to be a fairly stiff mechanism overall. There's a lot of friction involved, but it will work. The gears are very strong, and so that should get through. So anyway, that's my next video. Oh my god, this project. I'm having so much fun. But everything I do on this just takes so much longer than I thought. And so I'm now, I don't even know the date, like 5th, I think, of December, maybe. And I have, my initial plan was fully done building the truck end of December. I have this week off from work because, as I've probably mentioned before, I had a million vacation days and HR put their foot down. It was like, no, you have to take these days. You have to stop hoarding days and you have to take your days. And so I've been doing that for this project, taking like big, just weeks off. So I'm in the middle of my 3rd full week off this fall, and making good progress. I don't know, man. I'm advancing. It's getting closer, and I think this is the last moving mechanism. I think. Well, there's one on the roof to withdraw the shades, probably. But that's not a complex one. So, I don't know, man. I'm having so much fun. I just wish I had more time. I wish I had started earlier. I had an opportunity to start this and get like 2 more months of work in the summer, and I just didn't. I just played video games instead, and I am reaping the rewards of that decision. So, anyway. Okay. Now, the next one, it should actually be fully assembled and attached to the truck. So. The scariest step in any project is always when I've had these pieces that are very complicated and I've just been dry fitting together to make sure that, things were measured right, that things are moving right, or things whatever. And then going from that to, and now we have to glue it together. And today was that. I always hate doing this because this is like, if it turns out that you made a mistake that you didn't catch, you basically can't fix it anymore. If it's also possible to like put glue in a place you didn't mean to and destroy something that was working until you did that. And also it just means that if there's any like, wear and tear breakages in the future, you're making it impossible to fix those as well. So I always hate doing it. I always put it off as long as possible, but yeah, no, today was that. So I have now, final glued this. It is it's all in, it's working, it's great. So you can see basically where they're positioned. So the tag bays are back here, and then the conveyors are here. Right now it doesn't move, but if I push the button in, it moves. It moves the opposite direction that I spin the gear, because I have 2 connected gears, so whatever direction this one goes, the other one goes the other way. So up is down, down is up. Yeah, and it works, and I let go and it won't turn anymore. So that's all great. And then, okay, so remaining stuff, I mean, just to be really clear, with the way that this is, the whole reason I've done this is it is going to be a functional piece where there's going to be some hooks that are going on here. I've designed them, I just haven't built them yet. There's going to be hooks, not on every part, but basically like exactly 3 of them. So like here and here and here kind of thing. And then the bases for the remotes are going to have just a little bar on the bottom, so that they will just lightly sit on top of the hooks, and then they will go up and down when the thing goes up and down. So, and then this will drag them around. So like really, we're not looking at very much up and down. It's going to go, maybe that much, and then it stops, and then it's yeah. So yeah, that part's great. It all works. Yeah, so I mean, I guess at this point you can start to get a sense of the shape of the whole thing. I've dug out my secondary Lazy Susan to let you to see around the whole thing. So yeah, the conveyors are here. Oh yeah, this wheel keeps popping. The wheels are also dry fit right now, and do not stay on well. So anyway, we're gonna ignore that. There's supposed to be a wheel here. And there was until about 10 seconds ago. Anyway, so these the tags are in here. The remotes are going to be on here. Up here in the front, then, is going to be the where the crew are, where like the it's where they drive from. And then so that's going to go kind of over and up. It's going to protrude a few inches out at an angle. And then they'll sit up here. The area where this dude is not the level of the crew compartment. This is the level of the capybara terrarium, which will be about as tall as, well, pretty much as tall as the guy. That's where the roof of it's going to be, and it's going to be like a glass enclosure where there'll be some capybaras, and then the crew will sit on top of that. So the crew compartment is actually going to be taller up there than the floor level back here. So that's fun. Yeah, and so that's most of what's left. Although I'm still not actually done this, because like right now, there's not much like detailed paneling. There's some detailed paneling on the wall here, which was mostly just cribbed from the same panels on the back. Which I don't even know if you can see this, but anyway, oh yeah, you can kind of see it. But now I need to do. This wall needs to continue up, and then the stuff needs to go to the front. But there's a major piece missing, which is there's going to be like a cage that goes around the remotes. So it's like a cage that goes around over here. It allows them to go up and down, and then at the bottom there's like an opening so that's where they go on and off of the conveyor. I've drawn that, but I have not built it in Illustrator yet. And I may not do that until later on in the project once I've actually finished these walls and stuff around it. So anyway, so this is not what this area is actually going to look like in the end. It's going to have more built up paneling around it. Yeah, but yeah, no, I've that is the last major moving component on it. There's going to be some on the roof. There's going to be a like an awning basically that has some flaps that are just going to lift up and down. So it's a really, really, really simple mechanism. Not going to take much time at all to make. So yeah, that's it. That's basically it for moving parts. I don't think there's going to be any moving parts where the crew are. It's just going to be an open space for them to sit into. Yeah, so this is there's still so much to do, but I am hopeful that the remaining parts will go faster because, I mean, like, the parts of this that are slow are fitting the moving parts, like building the moving parts and then trying to build the aesthetic components around them in a way that doesn't break them, or you know, that still allows them the freedom of movement that they need. And so, yeah. So anyway, I'm hopeful that the front area and the roof, which are just aesthetic, will go faster. Anyway, that's it. All right, good news and annoying news. The good news is the blocky front of the truck is, well, blocked in. It's a little, it's not all glued together right now, and the things are somewhat pushing out at weird angles. It'll all get fixed when it all gets glued down, but it's not currently glued. Anyway, so there we go. That's roughly the shape of the front. So the conveyors are here. And then they'll go into the front. There's like an angled bit. It angles out toward the front. It's wider at the front than it is at the conveyors. And then the crew are at the top. The main way up and down is going to be a ladder on this face here. The little capybara door here leads to a ramp, which takes them up into this little narrow space in the middle. So this is going to be a windowed-in living space for the capybaras. Yeah, and they get out through that door. Yeah, and then that's basically it. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's not fitting together super well right now because it's not glued, but yeah, the pieces at least all fit together. That's great news. And then remaining work, obviously, I have to do all of that. So, like, I'm gonna be doing panels and stuff. I've done these panels, and I have to do all of the other ones. So, I don't think it'll take super long, because a lot of it is just copying and pasting shapes I already have. The little awning over the top of the crew compartment is going to take a while. The like interior of the crew compartment needs like chairs and stuff. That's going to take some time. This little bubble shape on the front is not actually part of the bulk shape. It's going to be a stuck-on shape, just like the front of these of the tops of the hoods are. So, you know, there's some stuff still to do, but yeah, we're advancing. And it's all looking fine. But yeah, like I said, some annoying news. There's a step I've been delaying, and I think I have to stop delaying it. I was hoping to leave it until much later in the process, but I think I have to do it for kind of silly reasons. I think I have to... okay, so right now, actually don't even have a battery in, so I can't even turn them on, but... all of the lights have been wired up. So there's lights on the interior, there's lights inside each of the cavities, there's lights in various places. The front is going to have lights. There's going to be 2 lights here on the right side and 3 lights on the left side, and they're going to be in little lifted blocks so that they can shine down at the ground. And then, yeah, so all of those lights are wired in. So basically at this point, the circuit is almost entirely finished, except the back part sort of terminates here, and then the front part kind of starts here. So I need to like link this and this together, and I had kind of imagined doing that like much later, except I think if I want to continue proceeding with assembling the front, I'm just physically not going to have the ability to connect these later. Like there's not going to be any access because everything's going to start getting closed in. So I think I have to plan to connect those now, but before I can plan to connect those, these wires are snaking all the way over here into the back, and they're kind of going through and around and over a whole bunch of sections that are not permanently mounted in yet. So I think in order to continue with the front, I need to just kind of commit and do do all of the wiring on the back, like again, it's wired, but I need to like physically mount everything, run the wires in to go under the hoods, run the wires everywhere else. But in order to do that, I need to like permanent. So like all of these sections for the interior are not mounted on. They're just sitting there, waiting to be glued or whatever in later. And I think all of that has to happen now. So this is something that I've learned over doing these projects is like sometimes you have an idea in your mind, you're going to do like, I'm going to do this step and then this step and then this step. But you realize at some point that like, oh wait, this thing I was planning to do later is about to get cut off. Like, I'm about to lose my physical access to do that, and so you end up having to move things around, and then that, as we see here, has cascading effects, and now other things also have to happen now before I can proceed forward. So, yeah, I guess I'm going to take a tangent from the front and really, like, cement up the back sooner than was intended. But anyway, that's fine. Anyway, look, it's a truck, guys. It's a truck. It's gonna look really cool soon, and I'm very pleased with it. It looks cool. I'm happy. Just wish I didn't have to do the steps I have to do. That's all. All right.